crypto world. My name is Cody, and I will be your host. And welcome to this week's episode of our community AMA. Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I am joined by Kevin, the founder, Lionel, and Chief. If you guys just want to take a quick sec, say hello, then we'll get this thing kicked off.
Well, good evening or good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are in the world.
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
All right.
Everyone. Hope everyone's doing fine.
All right. So yeah, we definitely got a lot of things to talk about this week. But before we do, definitely if you guys have any questions, throw those out in the thread below and wherever you're tuning in. I know we're kind of streaming to quite a few different places, so definitely drop those. We'll try to get those throughout the AMA and definitely towards the end of what we want to cover. So with that being said, let's turn some time over to Kevin for him to kind of walk us through some of the things that have happened this week and what's coming up, and then I'll chat about a few things in terms of marketing and stuff that we're going to be doing over there as well. Kevin, it's all yours.
Yeah, no, thanks for that, Cody. Quite a bit of things happening, but just a disclaimer before that, I am a little under the weather, so if you hear me coughing, I'm still alive. Okay, let me share my screen. Screen window. Okay. If you guys can see my screen, please let me know.
Yep.
Yeah.
All good.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. So the much awaited, audit report has been released. The official audit report by Hashlock, and I'm pretty, proud about the fact that there were more than 100,000 lines of code in that, audit report that they audited. And we only had one high, severe vulnerability in there. Of course, any high serious vulnerability is not good, but we sorted that out, and the Hashlock team in record time, they got back to us with it. I, requested them if they could have done it before the AMA, so they did. So thanks to the Hashlock team, and it's pretty open. Anyone can go and see it. We have also tweeted about it, and on this link you can go and see that info as well. So we have got the secure rating, and I'm pretty sure a few of you may ask, why secure? Why is it not hash locked? And the answer to that is hash locked is given to those projects that have an active bug bounty program, ongoing. And we have to register or subscribe with them for that active bug bounty program. We have not. That's why we did not get that rating. But this, on a passive stance with Hashlock, is as secure as it gets. We have resolved all the vulnerabilities that were reported, and some of them which actually were not, an issue. It just had to be acknowledged. That's the way the system is designed. Nothing to do with security. We have acknowledged that as well. So. Kudos to the community for their constant support and patience. And I think, all those people who believe that, the code is secure, the code is there, and, it's under the progress of being audited, is now out there, right? So, yeah, if you have some time, go into the link, download the PDF, put it into ChatGPT maybe, and, ask it any questions that you want to ask. Moving forward, now, as you already know, the security rating L1X is secure, of course, from the audit standpoint, and only one high severity issue was found. We've already fixed that, and of course, there were certain audit pointers that were mentioned, which were not very high, but which were under the medium and low. Regarding some performance and efficiency stuff. We've also optimized that. That's also done. And thanks to the L1X dev team, actually, in less than 3 days, they fixed the issues and also released it, as an update. So what's the next steps for us? I think now that the audit is completed, of course, more transactions and project onboarding. We'll talk a bit, about the project a little later on, probably in the next few AMAs. But from the audit standpoint, it's code is open sourced, so please go and have a look. If you have any feedback, I'm happy to hear that out as well. Okay, now that the audit report is out, one of the other feature that we are bringing up, a little earlier in the roadmap is, of course, we have the swap where multiple networks and multiple tokens were supposed to be added. Now we are doing that in two different phases. The first phase is that L1X as a token is going to be available in the swap module. When I say L1X as a token, I mean on the ETH, Binance, and Sol network. So anyone going into the L1X swap and trying to do the regular swap will be able to swap into L1X on any of these three networks straight away. What does this do? Another good news, we have reached an all-time high of users coming onto L1X app. So recently we clocked around 5,000 users on a single day on L1X app. Now that is up from 300 users in September. So these 5,000 users coming onto the platform on a daily basis, they do see the swap widget. And with the swap widget, having L1X as default under the destination, number one. Number two, running the swapathon campaign around L1X being under the destination. And number three, doing rewards and also talking about the protocol over here. Why should you even swap into L1X? Learn more about the protocol for new users. So if someone has never swapped into L1X before, or someone has never used the swap before, there will be some informative section over here why you should actually buy L1X, right? If you want to, that is. So even if we consider a 1 to 2% conversion rate in here, there'll still be around 50 to 100 users swapping into L1X, creating traffic for us on the DEXs straight away from the L1X app. So that's good. As we bring that forward, our goal is to get this out in the next 7 days, and post that in the next 7 days, have all the networks and all the tokens as much as possible on the L1X swap. So we're pretty excited to put L1X, in the swap widget itself in the next 7 days. Moving on, TaskON. So we have, more crossed 175,000 task qualifiers on TaskON. Our X has almost reached 100,000 subscribers now. So we have 99,000 followers as of right now, but I think 1,000 should be coming in pretty soon. So good job over there on the TaskON campaign. And also another part where we are going to run two different competitions, with the help of TaskON. The first one is arbitrage, opportunity, and trading, and is the buy competition. So these two competitions, will force users to go in and, of course, hold and also trade L1X on these DEXs. So these two competitions will be linked to the L1X swap itself, and the prizes will be distributed on a daily basis. So this is going to be a daily competition thing that we expect to do with the help of TaskON. Just another on TaskON, we have partnered up with them on their Cupid Carnival. So today is Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone. Anyhow, the Cupid Carnival, they get quite a bit of users in here, hundreds and thousands of users, going into this specific campaign. And, thanks to TaskON, they have put us on the third spot over here as L1X. They were going to put us on the first spot, but I kind of think the founder knows the first two projects. That's why they pushed us to the third one. It's all good. I think, being prominently on the first page on the Cupid Carnival's campaign through TaskON and running the L1X swap trading competition is where we want to push that. All these things, when you try to add up with TaskON, the competition, L1X token as the destination on swap, along with the informative section, these all things add up to the net buy pressure that we want to create. And that is, what the release pool is looking at. With regards to Quest, we had done around 105,000 Quest actions last week. In 7 days, we did 7,000. So right now, there's around 112,000 Quest actions that are already performed. We have also grown the community on Quest by 4,000 in less than a week. So right now it's around 65,500 over there. And we have only spent $3,900. When I say only, I mean, with the returns that we are expecting or have already gotten from these campaigns. And before I move on to the next one, I believe Cody is working on Galxe. Cody, if you want to share anything about that.
Yeah, so Galxe is very close to TaskON. There are some other unique benefits that we're going to be able to do with it. Long story short, I feel like how we're going to leverage it is basically using it as kind of like an engine for these tasks. We'll be able to start getting a little bit more creative and a little bit more direct than just going and liking a post or going on and doing some of the more generic things that we've seen. So this will really allow us to get more granular in more of tasks, like for an example, going in and maybe staking, doing a specific swap from like Solana kind of thing, or we might be able to get it even more granular where we have you go in and stake into certain pools, or even go in and perform certain actions with other projects that we'll be building on top of L1X. So it'll be fun because now we can kind of get out of that kind of get your feet wet kind of things when it comes to social engagement. We can start getting a little bit more focused on actually engaging within the ecosystem and getting rewarded, which will be pretty awesome in my opinion.
Yeah. And I also think that, with the swap widget being upgraded to all, networks that are coming in, along with Galxe's ID system in place, we also have the ability to target users who actually are using bridges and bring them over to L1X swap and keep them there, right? So having L1X swap and the L1X token as the default destination token is similarly like an exchange system where you've got thousands of users going in specifically on that widget and looking at why they should be buying L1X, creating more demand. So I think all these things come into place to create more liquidity into the release pool. Okay. Moving on, we have activated the claim from the release pool, and there is also a short video that Leo and the team have put together on how you can claim from the release pool. So there is a minimum $50 that you have to have into your assigned wallet that can be claimed. So if you already have it, great. If not, wait for it. And the reason we put in 50 over there is, first of all, of course, is the fee that is associated to the network, but also at the same time, we don't want people rushing in and pushing the tech in terms of the traffic when it's not entirely necessary. But if the community thinks that this should be actually lower, we're happy to do it. Please let us know if you want to reduce that down to $50. The roadmap. So the roadmap has been updated, and this is an ongoing thing, but the fundamentals are also in place where, of course, as you see, the audit report was supposed to be released by the end of the month, but we did it before. So there'll always be, certain dates that change, but fundamentally we are trying to keep, the tech and the principles the same as to the schedule on those releases. So as you already know, we listed on Bitmart and LBank. We had a bit of hiccup of LBank showing up on CMC and CoinGecko. I got in touch with the team. That has now been solved. So you should be able to see LBank in CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko. Ronnie was pretty concerned. He was asking me, why can't we see LBank? So Ronnie, it has been solved for you. So you can keep looking at the volume on a daily basis. Okay. Yesterday, Leo and the team worked really hard to get the claim activation on the release pool done. So it has been activated. As you already know, we also tweeted about it. Today, Valentine's Day, we released the audit report. It's pretty secure. I don't know if it's a good day to release it or not, but we did. On the 15th of Feb is when we are expecting, the activation on the nodes in terms of staking. But I would give it a good, plus 3 to 4 days when, with opening this up to, multiple different people. But we are, doing the final test. Leo and the team are working hard to do the final test in there, and we hope to release this in the coming week. On 17th of Feb is when the Uniswap activation on release pool starts. So, as we are testing it right now, the release pool algorithm is pretty shy. It's not trying to release a lot of L1X coins, on an immediate basis. It's looking at the price. It's trying to keep the liquidity and the depth intact. We don't want to, change all those things too quick and later on try to rechange the whole thing. So we are taking it one step at a time. 17th will activate the Uniswap as well, where majority of the volume, comparing the DEXs have been, and all the money that has been already connected to Uniswap will also be shown in there. Just on that, 18th of Feb is when we are expecting to have the swap analytics dashboard out as well, and probably the analytics dashboard will give you a good understanding as to how many transactions are being processed on the source and the destination network, and forth. 20th Feb again is where the Bitmart and LBank activation on release pool happens. So we've already, through the liquidity management, a few $1,000s have already been sold on Bitmart and LBank, which we want to give it to the community. And through that, you'll be able to see it in the release pool in terms of the numbers being bumped up, immediately. One-stop wallet profiler is scheduled on the 25th. That is the dashboard that we want to go out with. In terms of the NFT revenue and the swap with L1X on ETH, BSC, and Sol networks, we're expecting to have it on the 26th, probably a day or two here and there, but we are trying to complete it before the end of this month. We have comfortably put swap between ETH, BSC, and Sol networks on 26, but our goal is to complete it by the end of next week and have it live. 27th Feb is where the Xtalk upgrade and the Xtalk code will be open sourced. Along with that, the audit has already been done on the Xtalk code. So when we give the audit repo to Hashlock, we already included the Xtalk code into it as well. With regards to the marketing, we were a little, cautious in terms of first understanding the release algo. We want to put L1X on the L1X app, and we are working closely with Dyson's in terms of ROI-based marketing. As I mentioned previously, all our marketing expenditure is only on ROI basis, and that will not change. So we are working with them, and what we have found is Twitter is one of the best marketing platforms for people, who want to advertise about their coin. So while we are on Dyson's and with the ROI campaign, we want to work with the influencers where they will go and talk about the technical analysis of the coin, price, about the tech, and that's where we will see also, push going into these 5 exchanges that we are listed on to increase the price or to, even get more organic buying going into it. Again, I want to mention over here 2 different things. AS Whitefield, Andrew, has been working pretty hard to get me on certain podcast. So probably not the next week, but the week after that onwards, I'll be getting on podcast and talking about L1X. And of course, then we, direct people towards the L1X swap if they want to buy L1X. So that's something that, we really want to push on the podcast side. But apart from that, Ronak is also working with certain airdrop influencers to bring in as many users as possible into the performance airdrop, which effectively increases the number of existing users for us on the swap. So each and everything is being, funneled into the swap, right? And very slowly you'll see that, there will be a time where even the swap will have something called as a release pool tax, which is anything that is, there will be a fee that will be charged on the swap where immediately the coins will be going into the release pool to be sold. So a release pool tax once we start seeing more organic swaps going into it as well. Just a little bit more on the release pool. So a lot of people mentioned, how long is it going to take to sell? So of course, these are certain numbers that you already know, but it's good to go through it again. Which is, if you came in at 1 cent and the coin is at $10 right now, that's almost 100,000% increase. Versus if you came in at 10 cents, which is almost a 10,000% increase. Just a little bit of humor over here. Not that it's going to take that long, but even if it took 100 years for the release pool to sell, you would still be netting us over 7% in APR. And I think with these kind of numbers in here, with over 100,000%, over 10,000%, I personally have not come across any utility-based project in the last 3 years that has given 100,000% or 10,000% increment on a gradual basis where you can monitor that increment. So, all those guys that came in before, even if it takes a little time, we are making sure that your APR is, if you compare it to the projects out there, if you know certain projects that are doing these kind of APRs, please drop their names in the comments. We'd like to look at it, that are utility based, and you have got onto them and have reaped that kind of APRs. But gradual sales and price stability is something that we are more focused upon, along with the release or liquidation into the of the coins into the release pool, which also prevents dumping. And I remember Ronnie shared an X post talking about how protocols like Chain, for example, after the airdrop are 60% down, 70% down, the community moves on. I think this kind of strategy ensures you're muted, Ronnie.
90% down, Chain.
90. Okay. 90% down, right? 90% down. This kind of thing ensures over a longer period of time, there is a price discovery into the market that has been extrinsically established in a way, if you think about it, right, which is intrinsically accepted in a long run. So that's where we are focused upon. So gradual sales and price stability, and the release pool is just out for less than 4 weeks. I think we have to give it a little bit time to understand, for the market to understand and things to pick up, right? Like CMC has just got L-Bank into it, right? It's a new thing for us. But anyhow, I think over a period of time, things will accumulatively grow. And once we start seeing that compounding effect coming in with all the things that we are working on, it should fly. That being said, our future growth and demand, of course, for the release pool is based on the fact that we want to focus on building, some strong cross-chain applications. We are starting with the G-Starter, launchpad. That's number one. More projects integrating L1X, higher transaction, organic buy pressure. Of course, we know that equation, right, which has been established in the market over a long period of time. And rather than going into the marketing side of things, with an aggressive approach, we want to get aggressive, but we want to take the yardstick approach, which gets aggressive on its own. So rather than us going out there and putting out publications and influences and not understanding the performance of these things being measured over a period of time, we want to take it one step at a time, ROI based, gradual sale from the release pool going forward. That's the only approach that we think is going to work over a long period of time. And that being said, I think the G-Starter Launchpad, we are currently working on it, and the release pool white paper, or you can call it the mathematical paper, is currently, we are working with the G-Starter people to make sure that that paper is established as well. So we want to get that paper out. We want to get the Launchpad going, and I've been working pretty close with Ronnie in terms of onboarding applications now. And I think if Ronnie, you want to share a few things we discussed in the last meeting of ours, please feel free to go ahead.
Sure. So thanks, Kevin. So I would say, like, broadly, there are about 3 areas that we are working on from an application onboarding perspective. The first is that, yes, we need to differentiate ourselves. We need to sort of pick themes. We can't just be a general purpose blockchain or a general purpose cross-chain interop protocol. So to that effect, we have decided that we will pick a few themes and run hackathons around it to attract qualified builders. And most likely the first theme that we are going to go with is around AI. So as everybody knows, agentic AI plus blockchain is sort of what everyone is focusing on right now. So that would be one area that we will focus on. And in general, one theme of onboarding or one strategy for onboarding projects would be around running hackathons. The second is that we have been having conversations with a few layer ones themselves who need cross-chain for various things. So of course, the easiest is that you issue on one chain and you need to settle on another. That is probably the easiest use case. From there on, you can think about cross-chain swaps, which is what some layer ones are looking at. And yesterday we spoke to a layer one, which was quite interesting, wherein they have a design which is kind of similar to parachains, conceptually speaking, which they use for scalability. But I guess what they are now realizing is that because of that, within their ecosystem itself, there's liquidity that's fragmented. So now they need a way to kind of collate all the liquidity that's within their system, within their ecosystem, before they can access liquidity sitting in other ecosystems. So that was pretty interesting. And that's an area that we'll work in. I think so this would be another area where we are working with layer one blockchains. And then the third area broadly is, again, we are going to look at individual projects that are introduced to us by community members through the efforts of the marketing team, and that organically come to us. But that, of course, as everyone can imagine, that is more of a one-off and is not as scalable as hackathons and partnering with layer ones itself. So those would be like a primary focus, and then individual projects on a merit-based basis, if you will.
Yeah, and just on that, I think the approach, which is like a four-pronged approach that you've spoken about, right? Just like to add a little bit on that. I think one of the most important thing right now is validation establishment, and establishing that validation. We have to make sure that we use what the market needs at this stage and exploit that immediately, which is transactions on layer 1x are fast. They are also more economical than the other chains out there, and they have the ability to go cross chain. So what Rani and I, we came to a decision where we will push L1X EVM, where the transaction cost is hardly anything if you try to compare it with the other chains, but having the ability to which is the second prong, which is go multi-chain in the coming future. Because what we notice is the projects that are very early, they don't want to go multi-chain and spread too thin, while the projects that are too advanced are looking for established solutions that probably doesn't even fit their requirements. So this approach of going L1X EVM first and pushing that angle with a mini hackathon that we want to do with an AI standpoint allows us to go to different companies. Like it could be Flipkart, it could be so many different ones, Samsung, for example, and do projects for them through the hackathon. And if they like it, they keep it. If they're not, these are still projects that build on layer 1x, strengthening its foundation. And then once developers see that, okay, it is easier to go multi-chain with layer 1x, that route of automatically using EVM or L1X VM and going multi-chain comes into place. While on the other hand, having the release pool and the G starter, whenever projects come on the launchpad, they automatically deploy their coin on the L1X ecosystem, building their synthetic tokens with us. But on the fourth angle is what Ronnie mentioned, where we are working with layer ones. I don't know, Ronnie, if you want to say the name right now, probably keep it for some other day. But we're working with a few layer ones where I think more importantly, as we try to see it, first probably the EVM side would be pushed towards generic development, and the interoperability side will be very specific to certain layer ones. Both have to go hand in hand, and push that forward, so that then the generic development takes in both of these, puts it together, and starts their development process. So we are going to focus on the angle of ecosystem through gradually as we want to go through that.
I just want to point out something, Kevin. I was talking to somebody this week about L1X actually, and two people actually, and you hit upon something that I think it's important for all of us to really realize when we talk about how easy it is for projects to go multi-chain. A lot of them are still stuck in the mindset of of, okay, multi-chain is bridges. Like they automatically go there and they think about all the extra work it's going to take, because that's how they've been conditioned. And with us coming in with something so new and so easy, it's not like it's connecting the dots in their mind, right? It's because they're defaulted to, hey, this is awesome, it sounds great, but in the back of their mind, they're subconsciously thinking of all the different networks that they're going to have to do, and it's almost like a wall goes up, and they're like, yeah, that sounds great. I just want to focus on one chain, and I want to go from this route forward. So, if you're talking to projects, if you're talking to people, just try to keep that in the mindset that that's their default that they go to. And so it's like, hey man, it's easier to go multi-chain with us than it is just to focus on one, and just kind of know that it's not a push off. It's just their natural progression of like how they think. And so it is going to definitely be a rewiring of their brain in a sense to wrap around what L1X can do. So just thought I'd throw that out.
Yeah, I agree. And again, I think I was, from my last two meetings, I spoke to, Prasanna, who is pretty connected to the developer houses in India. And, I think on an immediate basis, we can leverage that. You do a global hackathon online and, go on the AI and L1X EVM with the ability that you can go, multi-chain. And I think with the price right now, it definitely gets eyes onto the protocol as well, right? So this would be a good kickstart to the ecosystem development on the public chain of ours. But on the other hand, one of the other angle that we didn't think of that we could take off so early was when I was speaking to Srinivas, and basically there are certain private chains that want to access the public chain. So, there is where I see some kind of adapter being built that could be universally used by any of the private chains that want to go or access liquidity, or want to deposit liquidity into the public chain. So that's something that, have been coming up from the discussion. But as of right now, two things. One is ecosystem development on L1X EVM and the AI stance that we want to take through an hackathon, number one. And number two is the focused interoperability approach that requires a little bit of hand holding and working with certain layer ones to establish that validation that we want to do. And I think both of these things, if we give it probably, let's say 1 quarter to it, we will have we could get a swarm of projects coming in by just looking at this approach, and going ahead with it. Okay, I think I'm done from the from the update. Cody, I think if you want to.
Perfect. Yeah, that was an awesome update. I love hearing those updates, especially where you're showing stats and things like that. I think it definitely helps clarify a lot of different things. There are a few questions in here. We'll get to them towards the end of the episode, so bear with us here. Lionel, did you guys have any updates from your side of things in terms of support or anything like that? Mike,
Yeah.
Anything from you guys
Sure.
before we jump into some stuff?
I'll go with the ticket. So the update that I have, like all users who have actually created ticket under the right category for release pool. So we have a positive. We have almost completed all of them. If there are new coming up in last 6 hours or something, those will be updated as well. On the other hand, a lot of users are coming in, who have missed the data sanitization process for whatever reason. They were not in touch with the project. So we have been working on that, behind the scenes. We haven't replied to users yet, but expect an email max by Monday to hit your inbox, or just go to L1X app and have a look like how you'll be able to see your coin release schedule over there. So all users who are trying to claim their coins now have to go, through a platinum vesting, because that is decided in order to support the tokenomics. Correct. The other thing I have is I'm working on the NFT holders revenue model that they'll be getting from the swap fee that we acquire. So expect that to be out in somewhere end of next week or mid next week. And of course, with the swaps new UI. So as Kevin mentioned, we are dividing it into, like, releasing it into two parts. First one is ease to the users to go and swap or buy the ERC20 and one on Solana as well for L1X token that's deployed. So again, as the marketing is going to shoot up, a lot of users are going to join the L1X app and just go and buy the L1X coin from L1X app instead of redirecting them out to the DEXs. Yeah, so that's an update from my end.
Mike, anything from you?
Not a huge amount. The last couple of days I've been, as the team knows, I've been off in hospital, but I'm back on track now. Got out today and firing on almost all cylinders, but next week we'll be back on track fully. But it's been quite really good this week, leading up to on the 11th to getting out on LBank and Bitmart. A ton of work we did there, and Kevin and I are back and forwards with about probably 300-400 messages just to get them set up, which was huge amount of work. But I just want to keep pointing out, and I'm going to keep repeating myself from other AMAs for our community. It's not only effort from Layer 1X getting out there onto social media. It's actually about you guys getting out there and commenting on the posts, getting into those conversations. Don't just like a post. Don't just get out there and go, yeah, that's great. You got a visitor there. It's getting into a conversation. Cody, I'm speaking your language on this one. I know that, mate. When we sit there and say that, start a conversation with somebody, ask a question, get a response, go back and forwards. When you start getting that level of conversation going, the Twitter algorithms go, push us much, much higher. That gets us noticed out there. That's the sort of information that we need to get out there. Getting those conversations, talk about the capabilities, talk about where the project's going, what we're actually doing. Get the word out there. That's the only way. And Ronnie, you were mentioning earlier about the AI. Yeah, there's some fantastic things in the works. So I think around things like the cross-chain arbitrage, the AI bots for that. We've got a number of groups that are actually interested in doing that. So I think we can we can see where how far we can take that. And I think it'll be fantastic. When you start introducing that capability onto the DEXs, it'll be quite amazing.
Yeah, so thanks for that update. And you definitely led right into what I wanted to talk about, which was a huge applause to our community for definitely getting out there and socializing and doing things like that. In fact, as Kevin kind of earlier pointed out, Twitter is one of our more popular channels for talking to various communities, various people. And in fact, over if I'm doing a week over week comparison, we're already up 24% in our engagement rate, which is huge, right? That is definitely huge. And I kind of want to leave you with an analogy here of what we're trying to do is, getting out and making noise and doing posts are great. We need that. But as Chief just pointed out, it is about getting in there and kind of cultivating a conversation, right? So if you think about a car that's broken down and you're going out and you're the only person trying to push that car, it's going to be pretty hard for you to kind of get it going. But if other people come in and help you push that car, it goes a lot easier. It goes a lot faster that way. And so it's the same way with our posts. So if we all go out, if there's 100,000 of us that go out and do a post each, that's great. It will make noise. But where we really, really make the real effort to really push it is when all 100,000 of us get into that same post and comment, like, and retweet that specific one. That's where it really starts pushing hard, and all of us are working together and coming together to push one narrative. And so anytime you see L1X posts, you see maybe a good one from Crypto Psycho or other people that are commenting on L1X, do them a solid, get in there and comment on it, because that's going to be just like jumping in behind and helping push that car along, because now you're pushing it not only in their network, but you're also pushing it in yours, and so on and so forth, right? And so that's what we're really looking for. And to trick the algorithms on, it doesn't matter if it's Twitter, it doesn't matter if it's Facebook, Instagram, wherever we're at, they all follow that kind of same algorithm, right? And this is kind of, I don't want to say manipulating it, but it's trying to trick it into thinking that it is high quality content. And so therefore it's going to take it and push it higher into everybody's networks, but also that organic grassroots kind of thing, right? And this is a great way for us to kind of land and expand the messaging that we're trying to push forward. And so that's kind of the initiative. And so definitely applaud everybody that's getting involved with the TaskON, posting their own stuff. Love seeing all of the videos of people posting why they got into L1X. It's been fun with that. I've been trying to get in there from my own personal account and tried to help push those along as well. So keep them coming, keep them going, and definitely show some love and support there from that angle. Speaking of love and support, thanks, Kevin, for reminding some of us that it's early morning, that it is Valentine's Day. So if your partner is ignoring you or being a little off this morning, just remember that. But if it's evening for you, it's not too late. You can still get out there and make it a great day. But yeah, thanks for that reminder. On the flip side of that, been talking with Ronnie and a couple of other people that are working with the development BD side of things. Ronnie and Andrew and I, we've been kind of planning some things to try to create a very unique funnel. So as we're out there proactively engaging with people on social, one thing that we're really picking up that Kevin mentioned is doing AMAs, where he's getting out on AMAs specifically to try to boost that. I believe this next week we have crypto Eagles or something like that lined up. So they're a pretty big good one. This week, if you've caught me on a couple, I've been proactively going out and getting into other ones as well. Ronnie will be joining me on that effort to get out there on AMAs. So we're definitely going to be pushing ourselves and getting into these various communities, getting into the conversation of what's going on in the crypto Web3 space. So be on the lookout for us. If you see us on any lives, jump in, show your support. We definitely appreciate it. And I appreciate all those that jumped into one yesterday. I just did a random tweet saying that I was jumping on an AMA. So thanks for your support if you jumped into that one. But all of this is done for a reason, right? It's not like we're just getting out there just to be proactive and try to start the conversation. It is a grassroots campaign that we are really trying to tap into. It's, as Kevin mentioned, everything has an ROI around the marketing side of it. And the best part is that what we're doing in a lot of these AMAs is free. It's free to talk. It's free to jump into conversations. And so we're doing it. We encourage you guys to do it as much as you can. But with what Ronnie, Andrew, myself, and Kevin are all focused on, and Mike as well, we'll get him in there as soon as he gets back up on the horse here. We're really being able to identify unique projects that we feel would either be great partners with us, allowing us to be able to go multi-chain with them. There's a lot of different narratives that we're going to be looking to kind of fulfill and push with this directive that we're doing in the marketing side around AMAs. And that is really focused around trying to establish what I call EAT, right? Expertise, authority, and trust. Those are three things. Those are kind of like the three ingredients that we definitely need in a grassroots campaign so that people will start kind of getting a little bit more curious about us and really starting to take us at heart. So with this AMA, those are the things that we're focused on. And so by you guys coming into those AMAs that we're in, posting in the threads, asking questions, that kind of stuff, this is a great way for us to kind of not only establish the trust factor, but also help us to establish the expertise and authority that we have around our technology. So again, kudos to you. And yeah, let's just kind of keep this going. So we've got a great lineup coming up with us also doing the return of X Talks starting this next week. The first one is, if I remember correctly, it's on the Great Divide, if I remember the title correctly, and why we're going to be talking about why L1s may or may not survive until 2026 or struggle till 2026, type of thing. We've got things coming up on, what's another one? The DeFi dilemma. We've got ones talking about security. Basically, they're all around, interoperability, security, decentralization, speed, all those kind of things. So we're going to be inviting a lot of great people on as well. If you guys have projects that want to participate, feel free to DM us on the L1X handle or DM me directly, and we'll make sure that we can get them up and on if you feel like they would be benefiting from jumping on one of our AMAs. So likewise, we encourage you guys to get out there. If you guys have questions during those things, definitely shoot them over to me, and I'll bring them to our panelists and go, because I always love some deep rabbit hole discussions. So anyways, Ronnie, did you have anything you wanted to? Oh, Kevin, you got something? Go for it.
Yeah, Ronnie, if you want to go ahead, go ahead.
No, not really. I think you covered it all. I guess like, yes, from my end, the main focus now is that we need to get a few projects on board that that are adding real utility, and that sort of that can promote the adoption of the network. I think like in the last few years that I've been in the space, the one mistake I've seen chains do is that either they decide to go to enterprise too soon, or they decide to just go to retail too soon. And the balance is not easy, to be honest, because of course everybody wants to go enterprise, wants to be institutional. But I think what we all need to keep reminding all of us, each other, is that retail pays the bills. So we have to build projects that cater to retail, that add utility for retail, and before we go enterprise, or before we decide that we are going to fully go in on enterprise. So I think that's just what we all within the community should just remind ourselves, that we are building for both retail and enterprise, but we need to start off by focusing on what's adding value to our community today as it stands. And yes, I think that's the piece that we should all just keep reminding ourselves.
Yeah, and I think just on what Cody was also mentioning, right? The podcasting, the spaces. So when Cody was online on the space, I think it was last night, I quickly went over to the Google Analytics side, and we had over 1,000 people actually on the website at the same time. So I think it was them looking at the price, them going to the website, and that's where that swap into L1X as the destination thing makes a lot of sense, right? These podcasts, as I was listening to Cody speak about Layer 1X, and one of the statement he made was bridgeless infrastructure for cross-chain application, and I think none of the panelists had any thing to say against that, which was where everyone accepted the fact that this was required. But I think the route to take that is first building that validation that there are so many applications. So when you speak on these podcasts, you're talking about, okay, there are these many transactions already going through it, and that many applications building on this bridgeless infrastructure. So I think that missing piece is where we are going to focus on in this quarter as well.
Yeah, and if you did listen, one of the biggest thing that I did, not once, not twice, but 3 different times on that AMA, is I drove people to the L1X app and challenged them to use the swap.
You mentioned the whole link, .com/regular/direct.
Yep. The big thing there is the part I like is we're at that point where I don't have to talk about it. I can just point people directly to it and say, hey, look, you go try it for yourself and you form your own opinion about it. We're at that point, and that's an exciting time for us, because if you're not feel comfortable speaking on AMAs, or if you don't feel comfortable speaking to a lot of people about the utility and the innovation around it, just direct people to it and just call them out and just say, go try it for yourself. I challenge you. I dare you to go try it yourself and you let me know what you think, and then let that start the conversation. And over the past 3, 4, 5, 6 months, those are things that I've been really trying to do when I'm talking to people about cross-chain, and people asking like, where's a good cross-chain swap thing? I'm like, hey, I got this little app you should go try. And over the months, it's definitely evolved into something that's pretty cool. The challenges around it, the experience has gotten a lot better. Yeah, so I haven't had anybody come back and complain about the swap not doing what I told it would do. But yeah, it's been a great conversational starter, and I'm glad to see that we drove a lot of people to it. And that's definitely what we want to do, and that's the purpose of it, is because of these AMAs. If you think about it, we can have up to 10 different panelists from different projects, different communities participating in these kind of open roundtable discussions. And so if we are just dropping those little nuggets in there, it won't take long before us being able to get out there again to the masses, and again focus on those 3 things: EAT, right? Expertise, authority, and trust. And so as you're engaging on social, just remember, I've said it before and I'll say it again, every time you engage on social, especially around layer 1x, try to remember that there always has to be some sort of rhyme or reason behind it, right? So if you remember EAT, it's really simple. Whatever you're trying to do, however way you're responding, just remember to establish expertise, authority, and trust. And it's a great way. I mean, you look at Crypto Psycho, he's been here from the very, very beginning. And I feel like he's definitely developed a good EAT within the community, because he's still a staple within the community. And that can go for anyone of within our community. You can do the same thing that Crypto Cycle's done since the very beginning. So, and there's quite a few of you that have done that. But I encourage you guys to keep going, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be awesome working, doing this kind of initiative. Like I said, it's a great land and expand marketing deployment for us to be able to get out there to the masses, and we couldn't do it without you. So thank you for your support and coming in and helping us. One of the big focuses I think that we should focus on from not only from a Twitter side of things is, as we're getting in there and engaging people, encourage people to come follow us, right? Encourage people to come to these AMAs to learn more about the project, because like what Kevin was talking about, once we do get people's attention, I like to call it grabbing the bull by the horns kind of thing, right? You got their attention. Then it's all about education. And these AMAs are great. I mentioned this to Kevin last time, is that I loved how he's grabbing data, showing data, and we're to that point, guys, where everything is now being validated of what's been going on behind the scenes, right? And so now it's easier to kind of tell that narrative, tell that story. And so if you guys need additional resources from us to be able to help narrate that, let us know, and we can look at trying to build some of those things out there for you, from infographics, data kind of graphics kind of thing. Those are things that we would love to do, and try to help fuel you guys to take that narrative to the next level for us. So kudos to you guys again. So anything else before we jump into questions you want to add, Kevin?
No, I think we can jump into it.
Okay, cool. So kind of cruising down through here, there's a couple of questions. If you guys happen to, I know there are a couple of people asking about certain things that they've done, definitely reach out to Lionel or open a ticket with one of our mods on Discord or within the L1X app and submit your ticket there. But so that you can get your questions answered. I'm just kind of cruising through here. If you guys happen to find one, just let me know. Let's see. Yeah, 100,000 subscribers. Let's make it a goal to definitely surpass this over the weekend if we can. So try to get people. Let's try to make it a goal. 100,000 by Monday of next week. Let's make it our goal. I think we could do it. Let's see here. Don't forget our community Twitter. Yep, we've talked about that. Not going to talk about price. Okay, here's a good one. Does the widget facilitate cross-chain swaps, enabling token exchanges between different blockchain networks? I'm assuming.
I think we lost Cody. Yeah, I think the question is about the L1X swap widget. It does facilitate that.
Oh, did we lose connection?
Yeah. Now, I already answered that. Yeah. So the L1X swap widget does facilitate cross-chain token transfers. Yeah.
Yep. Cross-chain.
There is one there for you, Cody. It was somebody wants you to be their Valentine.
Oh, sorry, my heart's already taken. That's awesome. Let's see here. I wish there was a way we could flag these as we're going along.
I saw one from Hader. Everyone should include the L1X app link in their replying to tweets, and while tweeting. Totally. Yep.
Yeah.
Do it.
Now, that does bring up a good point here. And again, another analogy. If you've ever bought a car from a 19-year-old sales guy, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? Those guys are extremely hungry, and they will tell you anything and everything, and they're just so excited. You know, it's like they're on Red Bull or something. They're shaking because they definitely want to make their first car sale. As you're talking to people on Twitter, you don't come across as that 19-year-old sales guy, seriously, because it is such a turnoff. There's a difference of talking at and talking with people, and we want to talk with people. You know, you think about it, if you're talking to your own friend about something, it's not like, L1X is the way to go, right? You'll immediately shut down the conversation. What you want to do is kind of identify with them, acknowledge what they're maybe talking about, of like maybe having an issue of like the time it takes to do a cross-chain swap, or the cost it takes to do a cross-chain swap, or they're so frustrated with all these different applications, right? Just listen to what they're saying and then just gradually kind of go into the conversation and cultivate the conversation, because not only does it make it easier for you to kind of talk about L1X, but if you're talking about it on like Twitter, for an example, all of that conversation adds to that expansion of us being able to reach more organic reach during the week, because you're kind of cultivating it into like 2, 3, 4 different tweets going back and forth asking questions. So if you've ever seen the L1X handle ask people questions, it's for that very reason, is because we're trying to open the conversation, but in the long run, we're also kind of pushing that same post more and more and more as well. So that's a good point to bring up there. Great question. Another question that we have, I just had it and then somebody responded and it booted it up. Can we use the L1X price to spend on G-Starter? This would provide another more immediate way to spend L1X.
Yeah, I think we can definitely take a look at it. Yeah, if you with G-Starter, they basically wanted to focus on LSD based tokens, but if they do a token sale and they accept L1X, of course, I think that will be one way to go. You can definitely think about it.
Right. Can we review when phase 2 starts for the release pool? Seems pointless adding the amount of tokens to sell when phase 1 has 30 million plus.
Yeah, I think one of the most important thing to understand over here is, those who came in at 1 and 10 cents, the current price trading at $10. You have to sell a minuscule of your holding to even recover your money back, plus make the profits out of it. So it is a utility based project. You're going to hold your coins over a long period of time. So probably hold your coins 2 years, 3 years, it could be 12 months, and the release pool allows you to do that while you are actually trying to sell it automatically into the market. And we want to get in as many coins as possible in there as soon as possible. So we also have an indication as to how many coins are there, over a period of time to sell and drive the strategies accordingly as well.
Yeah, I think that's a good point that you just made, and we've emphasized this before. If you've been in the community long enough, is that this isn't a meme coin kind of quick turnaround gratification, see 1,000 plus, 10,000 plus ROI, return on your investment within 30 to 60, 90 day kind of thing. With the L1s, it's definitely a different type of FOMO, ape-in kind of thing. It is a long-term kind of thing. If you look at how some of these other chains that started, BNB, Sol, like all these kind of things, it takes a few years to get up to the price point where they're at. It's not like a blink of an eye, we're going to be at $200-300 trading per coin type of thing. We could eventually get there. It does take a lot of utility. It does take a lot of adoption that way. So, I personally like the new release pool because it is definitely kind of a new way, not financial advice, but a new way to kind of look at kind of leveraging your ROI potential and ensuring, that you will get that ROI long term. Doesn't mean that you got to stick everything in there if you don't want to. You can stick all of it in there if you want to. Kind of look at your situation and see where it would take you to kind of get that ROI back and how long and so on and so forth. But like I said, this is definitely a great way to kind of hedge your bet a little bit. So kind of take that into consideration as well. So great question. The other one I had was, let's see here. Gosh, you guys keep the comments coming. You guys see any other ones?
There was one for the Ledger wallet to the release pool. So we're already working on a solution towards that. Once the integration is completed, we'll get back with an announcement and the process as well.
Perfect. Talked about that one. See.
There's one from Dambox here. So basically that says any updates on L1X staking that is paused, will rewards be backdated when it's unpaused? So the single stake for L1X that has been paused because of the price of the coin right now. It's not really up to us, how the market responds to the price, but we are pushing to get new buyers into it as well. With regards to the staking, we will unpause it in terms of people want to stake it again before the end of this month. And if you have already staked your coins in there, so you should be receiving your L1X as rewards, regularly. If not, please open up a ticket. We'll have a look at it.
Perfect. Here's one. LBP. Any update on that?
Yeah, so the team was busy with the core update, audit update this week. So next week, there is the portal that's going up. You'll be able to go in and claim your L1X coins, the same balancer pool portal. So you'll be able to go in and start the claim process next week onwards.
I think there's maybe a little bit of clarification. This will be good just for clarification on maybe a recap of how the release pool works. It says we went from a release pool of 100 stakers to 750. People who staked yesterday and those who were the first 100 slots are wondering, will the first 100 slots be sold first? Do you want to kind of just generally clarify how that works?
Yeah. So the release pool, is in place, is a mechanism to, sell coins into the market based on performance of, these exchanges, right? And this is the exact reason why Bera chain is down 90% today. So what we want to make sure of is the fact where from the centralized exchanges and from the decentralized exchanges, whenever there is a net buy pressure that comes in to the portal or the protocol for the coin, a number is calculated, and that specific number is sold into the market. Now, even on centralized exchanges, we've been able to liquidate coins, and that number will reflect based on when it is activated into the release pool portal. Our internal timeline is 12 months. Of course, we can't, for sure say if it's going to be 12 months, it's going to be 24 months, but our internal timeline is 12 months. But also take into consideration the fact that you came in at 1 or 10 cents, and right now the price is $10.
Yeah, that's a good thing to point out.
There's another one, which is, what's the Tron and Bitcoin integration progress? Yeah, so as we mentioned, the any network to any network swap is going out by the end of this month. We are doing it in 2 phases. The first one is with the L1X token in them, and the second one is going to have Bitcoin and Tron in them as well. So our timeline is by the end of this month.
Perfect. Let's see here. I think that is about majority of the questions. Unless you guys see any other ones that I'm seeing, I think we've hit upon pretty much all of these already. So yeah, just kind of as alpha for you guys that are participating in the TaskON stuff. One thing that the team has kind of talked about to help us initiate some of this proactive engagement, if you want to call it, with the AMA stuff is, during Kevin's Crypto Eagles interview, during our X Talks episodes that we're going to be doing, be ready to go, because there are going to be limited TaskON tasks that are going to be utilized during those things. So if you're looking for more stuff to get involved with and to, you're kind of one of those OG maxis that have maxed out every task that you can on TaskON, we're going to be adding some very limited time. So I'm talking, they may only be around for a few hours. They may be around for a day, but they'll definitely coincide with what Kevin and myself and Ronnie and Mike are going to be focused on. So to try to help promote. And between all of us here on this call, the reason why we're doing that is because we want to show people that do come and participate on our AMAs that we host through X Talks, that we're going to be able to get it out to the masses. And that's what a lot of projects look for. So if you have a small following and you only have like maybe 50 to 100 people show up live during an AMA, more people are less inclined to kind of do an AMA with you. And we're focused on not only doing these community AMAs, we're doing roundtable discussions, but we're also going to be adding in a third type of AMA, which is more of like an interview style. And if you've seen some of the ones I've done with like the Pipe G guys before, I've done one with Shuffle, I've done one with a whole bunch of them in the past. We're going to start kicking those up again, where we're going to be interviewing not only projects that are coming on board, but also, individuals. Maybe we'll have a one-on-one with Lionel, who knows, get to know him a little bit more, what he does behind the scenes. Same thing down with maybe some of you guys within the community that are OGs, that are standing out as kind of those huge brand ambassador type of people. As we kind of do these different ones, we want tons of people on there live, and we want to show people that we can get their message, get their project out to the masses, especially within our own community. And so that's where you guys will definitely help us out. And so as you attend, as you kind of participate in these AMAs, we'll be able to drive that organic reach that these guys are looking for. And then that allows us to step outside of our own ecosystem and really start interviewing quite a few different people that are developing some pretty unique innovations or are making a big splash in Web3. And they may or may not be partnered with us, but if you guys know what our mission and value is we're not here to compete. We're here to unite blockchains. We're here to unite projects, and we're here to unite all users in Web3 to create that seamless user experience of what we're all looking for. So that's kind of the vision here. That's how you guys can get involved again. And I'm really looking forward to what we have planned up for you guys. We've already got stuff already planned out clear till the end of April with these kind of AMAs. So, and the list just keeps growing and growing. So if you guys have projects you want me to interview, if you guys have projects that you want to participate, again, hit the DMs on the L1X handle or myself. It's CryptoNaut22. I'm there on Telegram. I'm on there on Twitter. You can reach me at any of those places. So yeah, looking forward to it. Great AMA today. Anything else you want to add, Kevin, or the rest of the team?
Yeah, I think I just wanted to, again, all the AMAs, I've been saying it, but I couldn't say it enough, which is thank the amazing community which we have, right? And, since the very beginning, there are some members out there, Escobar, Crypto Jones, there are heaps of them, right? There are heaps of them who have truly believed in this, and if it were not up to them, L1X wouldn't be where it is. So, a special thanks to the community. Keep pushing it, and you guys are doing an amazing job. Whenever I go on Twitter, I look at the community members actually pushing it out. Crypto Psycho's videos are out before I even think about what should I do next after making the post that he's actually trying to stream out, right? So amazing job out there, and I think it's a community-driven project, and we couldn't be more appreciative of the community that we have. It's an amazing community. Thank you.
I swear Crypto Psycho's that fly on the wall in all of our meetings. He seems to get some alpha before anybody else does. So that's not, I don't know how he's getting it. He might be paying Lionel. I don't know. But anyways, yeah. So be on the lookout for that. We'll be also doing some impromptus. I've seen some since I've been back. A lot of people have been reaching out for doing impromptus with the community members. Yes, we will be doing some of those. Just trying to get everything kind of resituated, guys. So thank you for your patience while we do this, and I think we'll definitely have a lot more fun. So be on the lookout for those impromptu kind of conversations that we'll do across the board on Discord as well as Twitter. So I think that's about it. Guys, you want to add anything else before we sign off here?
No, all good for me.
No words of wisdom, Mike? Come on.
No, mate, I'm ready to go and pop a bloody pain pill at the moment. So.
Well, best
all
of
good.
luck. Yep, best
I
of
didn't
luck
want to drop
to you,
off.
my friend. We'll definitely keep
absolutely.
you. We'll definitely keep you in our prayers and thoughts. So get well soon.
Absolutely.
So,
oh, bloody right. Well, look, if we were doing the AMA last night, I was going to be coming in from the hospital. Don't worry. So,
well,
I was ready to go.
It's probably best we didn't do it because they call those hospital gowns ICU for a reason. So we didn't want to see most of Mike. The side of Mike we didn't want to see. So probably a good thing.
No, I don't need to laugh, mate. Thanks.
Nice. Well, thanks again to our community. Thanks again to all of you guys for tuning in. Again, we couldn't do this without you. Happy V-Day. Don't forget your loved ones. Yeah, we definitely don't want you on their bad side. So again, thanks. Have a great weekend, and we will catch you guys next week. Have a good one, guys.
Thank you.
Catch you later.
Bye.